wow, US stock markets are dancing on the volcano and there's a hurricane named Trump blowing from the right side. It is crazy banana times in the stock market. We're basically 2 days away from entering a bear market, or one Trump tweet away from everything being rosy and peachy again. So, since the beginning of the month, we're going to take a step back, look at the stock markets on the monthly candlestick charts, and see what is going on and where are the new bull markets if it's not the NASDAQ and the US. There are two markets that I really like. You need to know about for 2025.
Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day, your show for swing trading ideas for the coming days, weeks, and month.
So let's jump right into it. This is the S&P on the daily, because let's start there for the S&P. And you see on the daily, we have already broken the uptrend that goes all the way back to 2023. And we are confirming it. It is confirmed. We're basically holding on to the last line of defense by the bulls, which is the 200-day moving average that you see right here, the pink line, and this horizontal support zone that goes back about half a year. We break below the 200. Yeah, the bull market is officially over, and we entered into a bear market. Now let's look at it from the monthly, because we said this is what we want. What does the monthly do? The monthly really tells us from the bird eye view what to expect from the markets, where we're going, where do we have the wind ahead of us, which we don't want if we want to swing trade, and where we have it in our back. And as you can see from the monthly, the long-term uptrend, absolutely intact. We have the 200 down here. We're very far away, but 200 moving up, 50 moving up, 20 moving up. All this looks good on the monthly. Except, obviously, you see the same thing that I showed you on the daily. Top is forming. We broke the mid-term uptrend channel. If this is confirmed, we break about below the 200 on the daily. Watch out. Now, the NASDAQ 100 looks a little better. Let's also here start with the daily. So let me zoom out first to make this clear what we're looking at. We have the super long uptrend since the COVID lows. We have a channel, right? We tried to break out of the channel twice, didn't work. Now we moved back into the channel. Now this is not great, obviously. It also means that the long-term uptrend is absolutely intact. We literally could go down to 14,000. Think about this, 30% correction, and the uptrend would still be intact long-term, right? This is important to remember. But if we zoom in, we see since 2023, since the AI boom, we built this medium time frame uptrend channel, and we are hitting the lower end of it now, which also correlates with the 200 and this support zone. So this is triple support. So this is strong. This won't break fast, but if it breaks, as you see now and know, we have a real problem. We're going to go down to the midpoint of the channel and then probably to the low end of the channel around 14,000. But for now, this clearly shows you don't want to short the market right now. A, options way too expensive because of the volatility. You're going to get killed on the pricing. And B, we reach triple support. This is not the time to go short. Now, does it look great? No, it doesn't, right? We made a new low for 2025 already. The 20 and the 50 starting to trend down. We don't like that, right? And now we're going to switch to the monthly and take a look at the monthly. And we see clearly the same thing. The long-term trends are fine, but short-term, it doesn't look good. Look at this nasty doji that we have here on the monthly. This is really bad. In order for the market to turn bullish, we need to take out this top of the doji. Instead, on the monthly, we made a new higher low and we made a lower high and a lower low on the monthly. So that is not great. And if we look at it, it's actually a 3-month low. 4-month low. This is still holding. This tripled support on the daily, and you see on a monthly it's doubled support. But I don't want to be short or aggressively long in this market right now. So if it's not the US, where will the action be? What does the monthly tell us? Well, one area where the action is Europe. And this has two reasons. Look at this. This is what a chart looks like that you want to have for a bull market, right? We're above the 20, we're above the 50, 200, we're not even talking about it. We just made new highs, we made higher lows. This is a bull market in 2025, actually going on all the way back, obviously, since COVID. Why is Europe booming? With the war in Ukraine going on and the economic problems and the political problems in Germany and in France. Two reasons. The first reason is Europe doesn't have much tech. So while we see a great uptrend and prices moved up in Europe, here in the Euro Stoxx 50, they didn't go up nearly as much as it did in the NASDAQ and in the US. However, that also means two things. Europe has more defensive stocks, which now is what people are rotating into. Second, because it didn't go up as much as the US, and especially the NASDAQ and high-tech stocks, a lot of European stocks are quite cheap compared to the US. So that was the reason. Now, they're not that cheap anymore, but that was the reason why Europe is going on. And the third reason is trend following. This is why we do this. This is why we zoom out on the monthly and take a look and say, okay, this is where the party is at. If the party is not at the NASDAQ, if it's not in the US, let's find the markets where they are at. And if we look at the developed markets, then Europe is clearly the number one choice. But what about the emerging markets? Well, let's take a look at it. Let's look at Brazil. That doesn't really look great, right? Okay, so we're still holding the 50, but we broke below the 20 on the monthly. We made a lower low. If we flip to the daily, you see on the daily, we just broke the 50 yesterday. We've been below the 200 since we broke back below it at the end of February, like about 2 weeks ago. So, do we need to buy Brazil right now? No, especially not if the oil price is not moving, because the Brazilian index has basically two stocks. That's Petrobras, which is oil, and Vale, which is metals, mostly iron ore. So Brazil is not it. Let's look at India. India was a hot market, right? The China replacement, remember? Yeah, that doesn't look good at all, right? Here's the monthly. Look at this. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in a row with red candles. And even worse, the uptrend that started in 2022, when the war broke out, it's on the verge of breaking. The Sensex BSE Sensex index is on the verge of breaking the uptrend, making lower highs, lower lows. Do we need India right now? No, not really. So what do we like? We like China. Look at this. This is fantastic. This is the best chart in the market, right? I don't care if you hate Chinese stocks. We are looking to make money in the markets. And look at this monthly. This is a perfect bottoming. And we are just breaking out above the resistance zone. We are just broke the 200. This is the 200. We already broke the 20. We already broke the 50. Now we broke the 200. And we have a lot of room to go. So China on the buy list for 2025. Higher highs, higher lows on the monthlies. It doesn't get much better than this. There's one small country, though, that I also really like, and then I want to show you that nobody's talking about. Vietnam. I'm a big Vietnam fan. I've been there many times. Some for business, some for fun. Beautiful place. Fantastic. Look at this. We are reaching the top of an ascending triangle formation. If we break out, the next leg up of the bull market starts above the 200, above the 20, above the 50. This looks super, super interesting. Now, for Americans, I think there are a couple of ETFs, so you can play the Vietnamese stock market. For Europeans, that's not a problem. There are plenty of ETFs to do that. Nobody's talking about Vietnam, which is obviously a big winner of the US-China problems on the geopolitical level. This is one of the best charts in the market. And if you just say, oh, well, Southeast Asia, all the small countries, they all look the same. Nope, not at all. Look at this. This is the neighboring country. This is Thailand. This is the monthly chart. As good as Vietnam looks, as bad does Thailand look. I mean, look at this. We basically have the making of, well, I'm not going to be any Picasso anytime soon, but you get the idea. Why is this not? Here we go. Head and shoulders forming. And we are right at the neckline. We broke the 200 in Thailand. This looks really bad. If we break below this, this could easily go all the way down to the area of like 650. Okay? So not all markets, not all small emerging markets are looking great. Not at all. Vietnam, special situation, looks really promising. And from the big markets, China is where the action is going to be in 2025. The monthly showed us that. That's it for today. From next video on, we're going back into the daily and weekly time frames and see what's happening. Until then, take care and goodbye.